Welcome to my Hammer Show. The Hammer Show is weekly television show. In this show, I invite guests from different walk of life to discuss various range of topics. And today, I have a very profound guest. He is from Japan. I would like to take his introduction from himself. Could you introduce yourself, my guest?
Hello, everybody, and I come from Japan, and my name is Hiromichi Suzuki. Perhaps Suzuki sound is something like motor vehicle. It's same in Japan, and I work for an international NGO in Japan, and this time trip is I counted and almost more than 8 times. I came so often, came here in 5 years.
So you came here for 8 times?
Yes, 8 times. I checked my visa. Yeah, I issued 8 times visa. 8 seat visa I found.
Do you remember the first time you came to Nepal, the year?
Okay, 5 years back. I came here as a JICA, JICA senior volunteers. And I was dispatched from Japan as a JICA senior volunteers. And I worked for the CAN, that means the Computer Association of Nepal. Yes, and that was the first my visit to Nepal.
So you came here as a senior volunteer?
Yes.
So as a senior volunteer, can you remember that you said that you worked with CAN?
CAN, yes.
Computer Association of Nepal.
Yes.
And what did you do there?
Yes, at that time, perhaps even now, they're seeking the most valuable product to export to gain money. And the person of the CAN and ministry think about how about software development. And to develop the software need not energy, need not transportation tool, and only need a brain. So they are struggling how to produce good software. At that time, I was asked to come and recommend to more good software and how to export to over the world, but mainly the Asian countries.
I see. 5 years ago,
Yes.
There were not many computers in Nepal. Maybe some people were only using internet.
Yeah, some people are using internet, but the connectivity is not so good. But nowadays, dramatically changed. Connectivity problem is almost disappeared. But the speed is perhaps another problem now. But I hear that high-speed network is they done over all the countries. So that soon that will be that problem will be disappeared. But at the same time, I heard in Kathmandu 4G mobile service is already launched. It's the highest and very good quality to provide to the users. And looking around other countries, young people use mobile. And using mobile, they create the new business. It will be a good tool to think about a new business.
So you came to Nepal as a software developer,
Yes.
but later on you engaged with the NGO again.
Yes, first I came to, as I said, JICA recommended how to increase software development. And after that, I came here after earthquake. We came to here after earthquake, 2015, May 25 occurred, and after 7 days, I came here.
What was the reason? Why did you come here
Yes,
after the
there's
earthquake to
some
support?
stories. At the time, I was appointed to be senior volunteer to South Africa. But as I said, I had experience in Nepal So I was strongly asked to come to Nepal to support after earthquakes.
So I still remember after earthquake, you visited so many villages
Yes.
and you supported to the
Yes.
community radios
Yes,
as well,
yes,
right?
yes.
How many radios did you support?
Approximately 24 radio stations and 10 districts. I supported. I looked around the FM stations and I found some FM stations was corrupt, and some FM stations antenna and the relay building was corrupt and creaked, and others equipment was dropped down and cannot work. So I look around what's the problem and what is requested to fulfill their to come to the usual service.
What is the reason? Why did you choose the FM radio sector to support? I mean, there are many areas, many houses were destroyed, but you chose the FM radio.
Okay, I belong to the BHN, energy BHN. Mainly, BHN's member is mainly the telephone company and software companies, retail persons. So we are expert in the telecommunication field and the software field. So I came here to in this field what we can do, and I look around Kathmandu areas and visit to the UNN and other organizations, and I found people want to reopen the FM station because is a fatal needs to get the information from FM radios. So we decided our knowledge about transmission and the communication we have. At the same time, we understand how important role in Nepal of radio. Almost rural areas person usually get information via radios. But now I found almost Smaho has a radio tuner. So that reason the people rely on their FM radios.
So I still remember that you also supported for the open spaces in Kathmandu Valley, some Patan or somewhere.
Yes.
What was that reason? I mean, what is the area?
Yeah, actually, I don't support in Kathmandu area, not so many. Only perhaps one or two FM stations. We look around the remote areas because we learn that the government don't have time to try to support, but because so many requests occur at the same time, so government cannot care about rural areas. Instead, we went to the rural areas, almost rural areas.
You visited?
Your areas was farthest from we visited your stations.
I see. How was your trip? How did you like that one? Do you still remember?
12 hours, perhaps. Almost 1 day. And sometimes no road at the time, and we crossed a river. It was very challenging for me, but it's a very memorial activity for me.
So after 2015, again you are here,
Yes.
but this time you told me that you are here to look after or to support the health area.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I'll tell you about little thing. And my friend, medical doctor, supported remote areas, and I was asked to support. Why don't you support rural areas health care program? So this time I came to study, to research what kind of support we can do on the healthcare issue in Nepal. So the doctor, my friend doctor, come with me here. And I went to the Chojari Hospital, Rukum, far away from here.
I see.
And we stayed 2 days, but one waited who needs 1 day and returned 1 day also, 4 days. And from Katwan to first have to, there's no good transportation. First we have to Nepal Ganji, and after that we take 6 hours drive to some places. This is not a final destination. We get off here and we cannot use a car anymore, so you have to walk and carrying back, and first we carry the bridge over the big bridge there was, and to get to the hospital, first we down and next to the up, very steep road we have to, and so many rocks, there was so many,
There were
about 30 minutes we have to walk.
so there are many doctors, you said?
No, not
No
so
one.
many.
Okay.
Only one doctor.
One doctors and many patients.
Many patients.
Sick people.
Yes. I came to the Chojai Hospital, and I interviewed the doctors. What we can do, or what they are worrying now. So I listened to their final dream. What you want to realize.
So what did they say?
Yes, there are so many. But now, after coming to back Kathmandu, I'm studied how to realize their dream by using the latest technology.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm getting known. I'm looking for the proper technologies, and now after this interview, I'm going to meet them to talk about these issues.
I see.
Lastly, I also had a meeting, but I have some questionnaire, so I request, let's have a meeting after this interview.
So you said that you want to connect health sector with the latest technology, right?
Yes.
So what is the plan actually? That means you want to connect with the internet, you want to connect with what else?
Yes, and
Is that?
regarding internet, telemedicine, to introduce a telemedicine, nowadays speed cannot work well, so we have to introduce the wireless broadband network to install, and after that hospital information remodel, mainly the patient information sharing. Nowadays patient information don't exist after patient go home, because I didn't know that in hospital actually there is no patient information.
I see.
Because
In Japan, is there?
No, in Japan.
What is the system in Japan? And
No, I mean in Japan the patient record keep in the hospital. So the next time he come, the doctor can easily check, and that's a normal process. But in Nepal, the very important patient record carry with him. So if patient go out, nobody knows. So that's the problem. So I would like to the new system.
but again, as about the system, as you are talking with, internet is very slow.
Sure, yes.
And people don't have access with the internet as well.
Yes. But around that area, the 3G mobile is now launched. But hospital don't have enough good network conditions. So we would like to advise and we would like to approach to the high-speed network. There are
after returning back from Rukum in Kathmandu, you are meeting with senior government officials also,
Not yet.
and you have a plan.
Yeah, yes, if possible. Yeah, we are requesting to introduce my idea, but don't have time myself. Perhaps next time when I come back again, if possible, I'll talk. Or we have a mail, so exchange idea and question, give them.
So I want to ask your experience.
Yes.
You are from Japan. We have never been to Japan, but many Nepalese have been to Japan to
Yes.
study and
Yes,
other
yes,
work
yes.
as well. But I don't know. I still can remember Japan is very developed or still developing, right? So how is, I mean, your perception? How is Nepal?
First of all, I love Nepal is a friendly nationality. Yes,
People are
person
friendly.
is, very friendly, and I don't worry about when we walk around, and friendly and honesty. Well, perhaps I don't know that other sometimes people not honest, and we can see in very good high mountains. We don't have such a situation.
Mountains.
National. Yes.
In Japan.
Japan, yes. We have Mount Fuji is the highest, but it's 3,075. Well, that's in the scale of Nepal. It's a low hill, like a hill. And you mentioned about Nepal in Japan. Yeah, there are so many peoples, Nepalis, and in Japan, the 24 opens convenience stores. So many, and when I talked to him, are you from Nepal? Yeah, many people work in convenience stores, and also the restaurant, and also the in my city, one Nepali restaurant, and I sometimes come to Nepali soft, and I enjoy Nepal food. I like the Nepali food also.
So in Nepal, did you come alone or with your family also? Have you ever traveled?
I came with my family, my wife, but now today at this time only 2 weeks or so, so that I came here by myself around, and so the time is coming to end, and the end of the week, I come back to Japan.
So now you already spent about 10 or 12
Yes,
days in
yes,
Nepal,
yes.
and you studied, right?
Yes.
What is your, I mean, findings, let's say? It is not finding, but your observations. And what about the health conditions and your support or your ideas, right?
Yes, and
So when you go back to Japan, and I mean, do you develop a plan to come back and support, or?
this is a research phase, and we have to choose and value and priorities. I am making the some agenda regarding the healthcare problem. So after that, we talk about my idea in BHN societies, and after that, we will decide if this is okay, apply for the Japanese government fund.
So how did this idea come to work in the sector of health? But before, BHN works in the area of telecom, right? And you support it to community radios. That is related field. But the health is...
Okay. My experience is software development engineers. Software development engineers can handle every industrial areas. I mean, my experience, for example, in Japan, the transportation and the movie reservations and the factory production systems and some inventory systems, and that is every time is a challenge to me, but very exciting. Like that, we are interested in the analyze and pick up the true issue problems, and after that, we provide a new idea and change.
So you studied sustainable development in college, I mean in university or in college you studied? Did you study sustainable development, or you practice later on?
No.
But
I'm a
you told me that
engineer,
software
electronic engineer.
electronic
Yes,
engineer.
And at the same time, as a software development engineer.
I
and
see.
I had a long time. Yes.
What does the sustainable development? I mean,
in the
how
country?
we understand? Yeah,
For
us.
Yes. Okay. Sustainable. Yes. There's a challenge, but we have to provide the chance to develop the company to challenge. If you stay here, there, no, that does not happen. So the have to give a chance to study or chance to develop the small countries. That will be the
So we still read the let's say story
story.
that Japan and Nepal once upon a time before were in same condition. Nepal was also poor. Japan was also poor, but Japan developed very fast, and Nepal is very slow. And if you have to see what is the reason.
And regarding Japan developed so rapidly developed.
Yes, but
no resource, no oil, and other resource. We only have a sea.
So we read books. Many years ago, Nepal and Japan, they were a poor country both.
Yes,
but now poor. Japan is very rich.
Oshin TV program. Oshin TV program.
Japan is very rich now. Nepal is very poor. And what is the reason how the Japan could develop such rapidly?
So rapidly.
Yeah.
It's a good time. Good timing. After World War II, Japan almost collapsed, and if we remember that there was no building, and all were destroyed by the bomb.
The Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Yes, and
in 1945.
Yes,
in August.
Yes, and all over the Japan was bombed by the airplane. But after that, near the North Korea, there was a war, and American army needed very many equipment, and perhaps Japan has a good time to produce them. And this is not all.
And Japanese people are very hardworking.
Yes.
You also don't sleep. You look very younger than me. You wake up at 4 o'clock. You work until.
Yes. As a truth, I worked overtime. Every day overtime is 5 or so hours, and go back to like midnight, and only stay there 3 or 4
work. You only sleep for 5 hours and work throughout.
Yes, around that time we worked very hard.
So now also,
because first we have to develop to modernize country, our generation. But next generation don't work. Even work, they can get the fruit. So that's a problem.
Young people become lazy now in Japan.
Lazy.
I had a friend before, Japanese friend.
Yeah.
He would not sleep at night.
Yeah.
He used to work and work and work and work every time work.
Yes.
And I saw you are also doing like same thing.
Yes.
You also work and work and work. You don't need food also.
I was working.
Like a robot.
To realize my ideas. So nowadays, job is divided small parts. So we can feel satisfactory after ending the job. But not so old days. My age, working age time. If you work hard, the fruitful and enjoy the satisfaction by myself. The job is not divided. It depends on my work. If we lazy, the work will not finish.
I also want to learn, or I also want to learn like,
Yes.
you know, I also want to work like you.
Oh, yes.
Only sleep for 5 hours, but I cannot do it. And can you give me some tips?
This is broadcasting all over. Secret.
No, it will not go outside. Only here.
It is hard to say in the word. If it's a good solution, everybody do soon. We have to consider the circumstances, and we have to we shouldn't lose the chance to business or chance to have a good opportunity. Yeah, there are so many chances, but people don't see. People don't realize. American dreamers, they make effort while we are sleeping. They do, and their idea to realize.
At last,
Yes.
I don't have question to ask you.
Mm.
If you want to add something, if you want to say something about your trip or about your experiences, anything else.
My worry when looking at Nepali, the brain, the young generation, so easily go out. Brain drain has occurred. So that it will be the government size policy is needed to give them a chance to tackle some business or something. It's a government has to support, but at the same time, it's a human. Each person has to make effort. Without effort, nobody occurs. Nothing occurs.
Thank you so much,
You're welcome.
Mr. Hiromichi Suzuki,
Yes. Thank
for
you.
your time, for your brain, everything else.
Thank you very much.
So I have come to the end of the show. If you have any queries or feedback, you can reach me at indigenous television@gmail.com. Next week I will come with a new guest. Till then, goodbye.